The failure of Kathleen Kennedy is complete. You see, Star Wars used to be an insanely popular franchise. We're going to go look at one particular example to start us off, and that happens to be the books. The EU, or Expanded Universe, used to sell books between the hundreds of thousands and millions per book. It was insane. Some of the books sold multiple millions, and pretty much anybody who's read any of the books, or at least is a big Star Wars fan, has at least heard of the Thrawn trilogy. One of the best non George Lucas Star Wars things ever to be created. And all of this happened well before this whole purchase had occurred. So, how's the High Republic doing? Well, some of the books don't even crack 100,000. In fact, most of them don't. They're not selling very good. They're not doing very good. And, deservedly so. Some people point out the whole geode thing, but there were sentient crystalline beings that existed in Star Wars. But, they didn't fly ships around. But let's go jump into the next topic. Willow. Willow was not exactly the most amazing movie. It was a fun movie from a long time ago. And then they decided, hey, let's make a new show. And they decided to not make it about Willow himself. And then they made it all about the princess and her girlfriend. And there was some weird thing about a snake spewing out goo that people had to drink. I mean, innuendo much? It was so bad that they actually pulled it off of Disney Plus, and that goes to say something. Um, so now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Indiana Jones 5. The Indiana Jones and the diaper full of diarrhea, or the dildo of doom, or the insufferable feminist, or etc., etc. There are so many different titles people have come up with for this film. Let's start by taking our main character, Indiana Jones, making him a miserable old man. Oh, check. They did that kind of with Han Solo. Oh, I didn't even go into the different tropes. Kathleen Kennedy's got three major tropes that she likes to put in almost every single one of her films. You've got the bad dad, the broken marriage, and the British brunette heroine, who is the main character. Oh, it sounds like she did it again. So let's look at the first, example. You have Daisy Ridley as Rey, who happens to be a British brunette. You have Han Solo having his marriage broken with, Leia, and he's a bad dad. Next film, you have another British brunette woman, which is in Rogue One. And in fact, I can't even remember her name because it was such a forgettable movie. And then let's jump into Solo. Kira, another British brunette woman. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Jumping over to the next. And of course Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who apparently for some reason is popular in Hollywood right this minute. Doesn't make much sense. Um, but this whole thing is that you took each one of these franchises that was insane. Well, Willow wasn't insanely popular, but you took all these different franchises that are very popular, and you've driven them into the ground. This was the last straw. Indiana Jones was the big last thing. She doesn't have Lucas Arts anymore for the games, and Lucasfilms doesn't have anything else. So what is she gonna do? Sam and Max next? Um, I don't think so. I think that most of this is done and over with. And if she does keep her job, it just goes to show that Disney likes to lose money. Because Indiana Jones right now is set up to look like a gigantic flop. And it's needed. Because I want to see her gone. Because of what she did to Star Wars. Yeah, some people are like, well, she's a producer. She didn't write anything. But she's also the one in charge of everything. She she was the one who gives the final okay for each of these things. She let Ryan Johnson create The Last Jedi, and that destroyed Star Wars. Let's take Luke Skywalker and completely take the character of where he was at the end of Return of the Jedi and ruin it. And some people are like, "Oh, it was so good." No, you don't. You don't take what specifically makes a person and then ruin it because you wanted to make your new character look good. Like here's the deal. If you want to make new characters in something, you don't make them so good by belittling the previous older characters. That's not how it works for creating a new character. That's why most of the new characters were awful. The only one in the Disney trilogy that I liked in the Star Wars Disney trilogy was Finn, and he had the potential of being a great character. And they didn't do anything. They pushed Rey to the front, which, here's something. Maybe they could have explained how Rey knew how to pilot if she was actually a spy planted by Palpatine. In fact, maybe use her to explain how Palpatine came back. Maybe she was a clone. Maybe she's the granddaughter, etc., etc. Different ideas that they could have done. And Finn should have been the main character. And, what could have been kind of neat is if Finn and Kylo, or, Ben, discount Jason, um, maybe they team up and they have to stop Rey because Rey is actually evil the whole time. But no, nope, nope, nope. Instead, we got the crap that we got. Huh. Somehow Palpatine returned. Yeah. You don't put exactly how all the plot goes along outside of the main films. Because most people aren't going to read the books. Most people aren't going to look at the comic books. Nobody's going to look at the expanded universe that you're creating. And that's what happened. Um, and I tried getting into the new canon, and the books are awful. Like, I could not believe how bad The Force Awakens was. That book was absolutely awful. And it was the first. See, I liked the movie The Force Awakens when it first came out. I thought it was good. I thought it opened everything up. I liked how there was a lot of questions. But then I got the book. And after reading the book, I'm like, this movie is hollow. This book is terrible. It's just awful. And that's when I began noticing, the whole Last Jedi, Disney, and everybody attacking the fans who didn't like the movie. I went and saw the movie one time. And The Last Jedi was the last Star Wars film that I actually went and saw. Because I didn't want to see anything else. But just me not watching it, I already knew all the different things that were happening. I saw the clips of Solo and all the nonsense and everything, and it's like you can't do something like put freaking Darth Maul back at the end of a movie when people don't even know that he came back to life. Like, it just doesn't work this way. For some reason they think, oh yeah, they're definitely going to watch everything. Like, a lot of people don't even watch the Marvel shows that are connected to the movies. So they go and are confused by something like, you know, Doctor Strange too. Like, wait, why is Wanda evil? Complete nonsense. But the main thing is, what is there left for Kathleen Kennedy to ruin? Nothing. There's nothing left. And that's a good thing. Because look at what she's done to Star Wars. And I would say that I was a gigantic fan. I mean, I have 2 Star Wars tattoos. I owned nearly the entire expanded universe and much of the comics. I had tons of the video games. And when she gave the decision to throw away the expanded universe, it was ridiculous. And then later on, she claimed they didn't have anything. They didn't have any source material that they could use. And then they later on turned around and started taking bits and pieces of the expanded universe and then repurposing it. It's frustrating. But with this, with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dum-Dums, it's finally here. If this flops so hard, maybe, instead of all the fake rumors that are out there of Kathleen Kennedy getting fired, maybe we can actually get proof, actual real proof, that they might do something. Maybe she'll just retire. It'll be too late. Even if they get somebody good in there, Lucasfilm is just trash now. So we'll see how things go. But there's nothing more. There's no, unless she starts creating original stuff or, greenlighting original stuff, that's it. It's over. Lucasfilm has nothing left. And maybe we can actually salvage what's left of the ruins.